Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. We're back with another video. This is quite an interesting one today. So we're going to talk about 5 things that I learned at university and 5 things that I did not learn at university. So let's go. So we're going to start with the first bit of it, the first part of the video. So these are the 5 things that I actually learned at university. So the first thing is that your network is your network. As human beings, we are social beings. We do thrive when we're in a community, and we do know that relationships are one of the most consistent source of meaning in our lives and in our work. So get to know people at university, because at university you get to know people from different backgrounds, people from different races, different ethnicities, and you come together, you're learning together at the university. You're actually almost equalized, and you get to know those people, you get to learn different things, and you actually increase your net worth through those communities. The second thing I learned at university is how to spend my time wisely. I learned how to prioritize my work at university, because you have different things going on at the same time. You have your social life, you have your uni work, you have work, you have a lot of things going on, and you have to prioritize them. So if you have this assignment due at this time and another one due at a later date, you have to prioritize this one first before the other one. Or if you have something that is worth 10 credits and another one is worth 20 credits, you do know that you have to spend more time on the one that's worth 20 credits and less time on the one that's worth 10 credits. So university actually taught me how to prioritize my things, how to know what to put first, what to put next, and just spending your time properly, because I know that it's actually hard at university to balance everything. So you sometimes have to actually work smart instead of working hard, so you can balance all those things. So university taught me how to work smart instead of working hard. Especially, you do have to work hard, yes, but you have to also work smart, prioritize your things, learn how to balance your life, your social life, your work life, balance everything. And this, I am grateful that I went to university, because this is one of the things that I learned at university. The third thing that I learned at university is that grades are important, yes, but grades are not everything. Bad grade or two does not mean that it's the end of your life. So you learn from your mistakes, and you learn from your failures, you learn how to do things better. So it's not just about the grade, it's about the overall learning. And when you're at university, you learn to make your life out of it. You're spending 4-5 years, 3 to 5 years at university. You need to learn how to balance it. So it's not just about getting good grades. You need to have a social life, you need to have a work life. So it's not just about grades, it's about overall life. That's the thing university taught me, that your grades are not everything. Even when you're applying for work, they're looking for someone who's all well-rounded. They're not just looking for someone who got the best grade. They're looking for someone who got a good grade, yes, but not just the good grade. They want to see that you did other things while at university. So you need to get involved with clubs, get involved with friends, get volunteering, get a part-time job, do your hobbies. So university taught me that grades are important, but they're not everything in life. Another thing I learned at university is that we're all different. We're all on different paths. So when you're in university, you get some people who are just straight from high school coming to the first year of university. You get mature students who have gone through their lives and are changing, they planned a change of career, they came back to school. You find older people who have actually retired, but they want to learn this for their own benefit. So we are all different. We are at different points in our lives. we're all going through some different things. You don't know what people are going through. Everyone has a story. I learned how to have sympathy. I learned to be tolerant of people's views, because everyone has a different view. Everyone came from a different place. So you become tolerant. You say your ideas, but you are tolerant to other people's ideas. University taught me to be open-minded as well, because while you're like at high school, you're surrounded with by people who mostly have the same ideas, have the same thoughts. But when you go to university with people from everywhere, you have to be open-minded, because everyone has a different way of thinking, and you can actually realize that sometimes your way of thinking might not have been the best way of thinking. And by going to university, I actually was able to be more open-minded to people's ideas. The fifth thing that I learned at university is that I learned how to be a critical thinker at university. You write essays, you write assignments, you evaluate different theories and concepts, and this has helped me to transform how I live, how I think, both in my academic studies and also in my personal lives. So I have become a more critical thinker because I went to university. So I did go to school, all my primary school and high school in Kenya, not to be critical of the system, but most of the learning is through cramming. So I went through most of my life cramming things. But when I got to university, I had to now put on my critical thinking cap and think critically about things. It's not just about cramming things to pass a test. It's understanding things behind what you're learning. And I'm grateful that I went to university, because those are the 5 things that I learned at university. So just to recap, I learned that your network is your net worth. The second point is that I learned how to spend my time more wisely. I learned how to prioritize things. The third thing is that I learned grades are important, but they're not everything in life. And I also learned that people are all different. They're all in different parts of their life. So you should have sympathy, you should have understanding, you should be open-minded. And the fifth thing that university taught me was how to be a critical thinker. And I'm grateful that I went to university, because I was able to learn these things. So the next thing is 5 things that university did not teach me. So these are things I learned after I graduated university. The first thing I learned is that it takes effort to stay in contact with people. We're all growing up, people have their lives going on, people have things going on, so you have to actually plan and schedule your talks with your friends. It's really hard to stay in contact. People have moved away, people have gone to different countries, starting new jobs, so you have to be intentional to stay in contact with people. So return the text message, text that person. You don't know what's going on in their lives. Say hello to them, just say hello to them. Speak to them. You might not know, you might be the voice that they needed to hear that day. So be intentional and make an effort to stay in contact with people. So the next thing is that you've been, for me, let's say I've been in school all my life. So after graduating, I had to sit down with myself and ask myself, what next? What do I want next? You don't think about it when you're at university. You're just going through university, you're going through school. So what really happens next? Now you have to start there, the phase of your life. You start working on new goals. You have to set new goals for yourself, because it's not something different. You have to introspectively look at what you want to do, set new goals for yourself. You have to reevaluate everything. Do you want to follow a career of what you've studied? Do you want to try something else. So you actually have to ask yourself, what do I want to do next? You have to sit down, plan, write down everything, but do it introspectively. You've not finished school, and that's the next phase of your life. Yeah, so that's what I learned after graduating. You actually have to think about what next. Thing is that you have to have confidence in your own abilities. I know some of us have gone through this phase of having an imposter syndrome. You've spent years learning to do what you to become an expert in what you do. You've gone to university, you've managed to graduate, so just be confident in your abilities. Even if you're not in the same career path as what you learned at university, most skills are actually transferable. I learned that punctuality is a form of respect. I was one of those people who was always late. No matter what I did, I would always be late. Even if I woke up 30 minutes earlier, I would still end up late. It was a terrible habit, and I had to actually intentionally stop that behavior. So being late makes you look unprofessional, and it might make you miss out on opportunities that would have been handed to you if only you were there on time. So try to be punctual in everything you do, and time is money. Don't waste people's time, don't waste your own time. So try and be punctual, just so that you don't miss out on things that were meant for you because of simple mistakes that could have been corrected. The fifth thing is that I learned after graduating that you still need to budget. You're starting out, you're not starting at a massive salary. You need to learn how to still budget your little money. You have your bills to pay, you have the car, you have rent, you have food, so you still need to budget. You might be having more money than what you had before, but you still have to budget. And then you have to remember that you have to save for the next step of your life. So maybe you want to save for a mortgage, or you want to save for anything you want to save for future investments. You have to budget your money wisely. That's another thing I had to learn after university, is budgeting. I had to sit down with myself, check out all your expenses and your income, and you would realize that if you look at if you look at all your expenses, you might be having expenses that you don't really need. So budget your money, save your money, and invest your money, and invest in your future. So those are the 5 things that I learned after graduating university and being a graduate and starting work and starting the next phase of life. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment below, and be blessed.